And they said something beautiful. It was Ruchi Verma. Who is Ruchi Verma? Okay, so the idea was, if I give you this cup of coffee, you have it, there will be none left. If I give you this pan, between us there will be one left. What she said was blogging is exchange of thoughts. So if I give her one thought, we have two of them. And unlike coffee, it doesn't finish, it grows, right? So I think it gave me a lot of perspective, this little input. Thanks, Ruchi. And I'm especially happy that all of you are here today because the way Wonderchef as a brand has evolved, we have found connect to the aware buyer, to the aware customer. 90% of our customers are women, and it so happens that our research shows about 80% of our customers are internet savvy. How does it happen? Did I intend it this way when I started the company 8 years ago? No. Because it is not only about the brand, it is also about the society, the way it has evolved in the last 8 years. 8 years ago, we didn't know what a blog is, we didn't know what an app is. Today, we cannot imagine life without apps, right? Some of you also asked me, why Wonderchef? How did you think of this idea? It's an old industry. It's not something revolutionary. But in that industry, how did we manage to do things in a new way? I gave some answers and I promised to answer you now when I address everybody. So a little background on the journey of Wonderchef. I started my career. My name is Ravi Saxena. I'm an engineer, electronics engineer and MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. Very early in my career, I was fortunate to get a job offer in France with a company called Sodexo. I worked there for about 6 months. And then I said to them that, it feels nothing is happening in your country. This was early 90s, 93, 94. But already I could see nothing is happening there. Everything is perfect. There's nothing new you can do. Everybody is rich, everybody has 2 cars, everybody has a second home, going on holidays, and it's still the same belief. But in India, we can do a lot with this company. And you know what they told me? They said, come on, India is a jungle. This was 94, so India is a jungle. And we are not even there in Asia. So forget India. If we have to go to Asia, first we'll go to Korea or Japan or China or Vietnam, because Vietnam used to be a French colony. So they're close to Vietnam. We'll go to Australia. What India? But I insisted. I said, listen, I have a small salary. You can pay my salary, give me a couple of years, and probably we can do something. The rest, as they say, is history. As the CEO of Sodexo over 12 years, I developed 5 businesses. Today, Sodexo employs more than 1 lakh people in India. I'm very proud of that because I was the first employee. I was alone for 2 years. And all my IIM classmates, they were making big careers in Citibank and McKinsey and Arthur Anderson and so on. And they used to say, what the hell are you doing with your life? But I believe that I can do something unique. After that, I worked in another company where I built other 5 businesses. So I was lucky to have played the role of an entrepreneur, working at somebody else's risk, but learning the game. And finally, in 2009, after the big disaster of Lehman Brothers and the financial market crash, I thought it's time to do something of my own. Now with these companies, I was fortunate enough to be on the global panels for new product launches, for market researches. So I visited about 65 countries. And there was one thing common in every country. You could find Indians everywhere. Indian visitors. Whether I went to Peru or Brazil or Tanzania or Australia or anywhere, Russia, Slovakia, I went to real nice places. And typically in small towns there will be one or two hotels where everybody would stay. So in the evening all the Indians would chat up together and try to find Indian food. And the discussion would be, yaar, wife ne bola hai acha non-stick pan leke aane. So there were two obsessions. Non-stick pan and a good blender. I used to feel very surprised because while I was developing the food business for Sodexo, it was not domestic market, it was B2B, there's different kind of equipment which is professional. So I was not so much in connect with the market, this market. But this thing stayed with me. कि अच्छा non-stick pan नहीं मिलता, अच्छा blender नहीं मिलता India में. So when I wanted to start on my own, and this was 2009, remember, as I said, after the Lehman crash, after the financial markets crash, there was no private equity fund willing to fund anybody, forget the VCs, the VCs didn't exist. So I had to start working with my own money. So I put some of my own funds together. I approached Chef Kapoor because we had already worked in the, because I had built this yellow chili chain of restaurants for him. We had taken it to scale with him. So we loved working with each other, and I said, look, this is my idea and you have to join. He was gracious enough to say yes, though I didn't have enough investment, nothing. He said yes, Ravi, I will be your partner. And we have been together, it's been such a pleasure over the last 8-9 years that we are going together. And I said, look, my idea is to bring quality to India, world-class products, world-class craftsmanship, world-class quality, new concepts. But you know what? It has to be coupled with your recipes. Because otherwise, I can get new concepts and nobody will use them. People will try them and they will say it doesn't work and will throw them out. But if it's your recipes along, it will work because that's what you're known for. And you will be able to create some success. We didn't know really how big would we become. By God's grace, I would say that we are bigger than what we had thought we would become in 8 to 9 years. Today, Wonderchef is beginning to become a brand. We are present in more than 5,000 retail outlets across India, while people still feel that we are an internet brand or a TV brand, because that's how people consume the brand. That's how they discover the brand. But actually, we are available in almost every leading retail outlet which sells cookware or appliances across India. We also have a direct marketing network which engages with about 40,000 ladies who are self-employed with us. And like Tupperware, it's a similar system, it's a Wonderchef network. And they sell our products in more than 1,000 small towns and villages across India. Right from Kanyakumari to Jammu to Surat to Nagaland, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, which I am very proud of because China cannot claim that it belongs to us. There's Wonderchef there being sold. So it's been a good success, but the reason of success is not me or my strategy, it's not even Chef Saji for those recipes. It is really the commitment to the products. Because one thing we were very clear on, that we have to bring products which enhance healthy living. Having been in Sodexo and Chef of course is a master in this art, we all knew how important is food to your body. And how most of the Indians, people who can afford things, start suffering from lifestyle diseases, diabetes, China and so on. So we said that if we can bring products which are healthy, it will help. But you know what? If you start calling your products or your restaurant healthy, you can shut it down. Because not only in India, even in UK, a lot of you might have went to study or France or anywhere, the moment you start saying healthy, people think it's not healthy. So we have to walk that fine line. That we have to say it's healthy, but it's also tasty. We have to back up each product with recipes which will enable tasty food. And I think that's the fine line we managed to walk for a long time. Second thing in India is that while people love global quality, global standards, great things, they want to pay Indian prices, which is fair because we are earning in rupees. We have to spend in rupees. And that was a tough task because you want to bring global quality at just about 10% or 20% higher prices than the local brand, which may not be giving any quality at all, any guarantees at all. How do you do that? And I think that was the karma, that was the tapasya we had to do for a long time. But I think we are finally there. Most of our products are, I would say, great value for money. So they are more expensive, and we make it a point to be more expensive than the nearest brand because our belief is it should be about 20% higher price and about 50% higher quality. So that's the formula we use. Now you may say, how do you say it's 50% higher quality? What is the measure for that? So the measure is what you put inside, because these are physical things, right? Unlike the blocks, where the content is the master and it's very difficult to quantify that this content is 50% better than the other content. In our case, it's simple. So let me explain, for example, if it's a pan, what is it made of? It's made of aluminium. There is some steel plate below, there are some silicons, plastics, glass. So basic material, right? Commodities. Commodity prices are same all across the world. So when I say it's 50% better, what I mean is that this would be 50% more expensive and built in terms of the quality of workmanship, in terms of the amount of material being put, the quality of the non-stick coating, and so on and so forth. So that is our formula. And fortunately, the way the development of brands work is that the customer discovers this herself. You don't need to push it hard, you don't need to say it aloud. If you are giving consistent quality, the customer is able to see it over the years and they stick to the brand. And one of the numbers I want to share with you is that 80% of the customers who buy the first Wonderchef product buy the second and third Wonderchef product. So once they experience it once, they absolutely want to stick to this quality. They simply do not like others, and that's as high as 80%. And I think in our industry it's the highest. We started with non-stick, and I've spoken a lot about non-stick, why non-stick, and the cooking and so on. And there was no good quality non-stick available in India. Even today, I can dare say that the competition is not at this level. But the interesting question is why colors? Because as you can see, nobody does that, right? So it's about listening to the consumer very closely. It's funny, nobody listened to the woman in the kitchen. Everyone listened to her in the fashion, in the wardrobe, in the living room. Overpower her with choices. If you go around this mall, and we have counted, there are 130 shops exclusively dedicated to women's fashion. And there's one shop dedicated to the kitchen. So I think this was a good insight. And I said, if our customer likes colors, India is a land of colors. I mean, look at this. And if I were to be speaking in Paris, it would be all greys and blacks. But different tones, if I were to be speaking in London, it will be only one tone of blue. So India is a land of colors. So when we want color in fashion, in our life, why not in the kitchen? So people today buy our pants thinking this goes well with my curtains. This will look, because we have a lot of cook and serve, so this will look good on my dining table. Nobody thought of that. People were taking the customer for granted. So we managed to develop high quality non-stick coatings in colors. So as you can see, we are not only colored outside, but even inside. The coatings can be colored, they have effects, they have designs, and so on. We also managed to consistently bring appliances which were path-breaking into the market before anybody else. So just behind you are the slow juicers, cold press juicers. Today people know about cold press juicing a bit more. And there are brands like Raw Pressery which are giving you the extracted juice. We launched it 4 years ago when nobody had heard of cold press juice. because we knew this is the future. The blenders, because as I said, my journey started with non-stick and blenders. We launched a blender which we will unveil today. It's been in the market a bit, but it's going into a new zone, a new orbit altogether, which is why we want to speak to you about it. So, the bread maker. It's not that we are the first ones to bring the bread maker to India, but we are the first ones to bring about a bread maker that works with Indian flour, with Indian water, with Indian yeast, and you back it up with right recipes. Otherwise, people buy bread makers and they just lie in their cupboards and they never get used. So the whole idea has been a journey of health and healthy cooking, but with taste alive. I can go on and on for about 24 hours, but I would love some questions if you have any.